Hi there. My name's Theo Ganari, and thank you for taking the time to watch this brief video where I'm going to hopefully share with you some tools and strategies that'll help your business get through this pandemic and come out even better on the other side. So, how do we get a competitive edge? To get a competitive edge for 2020 and even 2021, we first have to understand the framework under which we are operating. Most business owners I run into seem to know where they are, and they know that there are areas that would need changing. However, the temptation I see is that everybody really wants to jump right away into making some changes. That doesn't really always work, as it fixes the symptoms and not the root causes. In order to get to these root causes, we first need to identify where you want to go. What are you going to do to achieve your competitive edge? And then come back and figure out how we're going to do it. To do this, one of the tools that we use is what we call competitor analysis. In the example below, we first take 4 factors on what we think are going to help us identify what our competitive edge is in comparison to our competitors. In this example, we first have demonstration of capability, then agility, speed to market with support structure, innovation and pivoting model, and finally value for money. In this example, I'm using 4 factors. You could go as many as 10. I wouldn't go over 10, as you might start to dilute the exercise a little bit, but anywhere between that 4 and 10 would be appropriate, I'd say. The next step is then we weight each factor out of 100 in what our assessment of what the value in the marketplace is for each factor in comparison to our competitor is. So in this example, we have 20, 20, 25, and 35 finally for value for money, which we think is the most important factor. We then assess ourselves, and in doing that in comparison to our competitors, we will put ourselves at the mid-range. So to get to a total score of 50, and there's no magic behind this, it's just literally half of every factor. Finally, against our competitors, you'll take your competitors and you'll compare your competitor to your score. So in this example, we first have the poor operator, which every market's going to have. And really, this is just going to give us kind of a baseline on how low, I guess, we can sink, or what our level of margin is before we start to feel some heat from that. So in this total, they get a score of 20. We then have the slick but low quality, and they're going to have some areas that they're better than us. In this case, demonstration of capability. They're going to be a little better at agility and innovation, but their value for money isn't going to be there. So in this example, they actually end up with a total of 53. Next, we have the old school but good. And again, every market's going to have these, the kind of trusted, true, reliable, that they might not be the flashiest, but they're going to provide that good value from money, and they're going to have a part of the market share, and ending up with a score of 44. And finally, as much as we hate to admit it, we're going to have the quality performer. And in this example, they're just better than us in a few areas. So their demonstration of capability is 12, their agility is 14, their innovation and pivoting model is 10, so we're a little bit better than them on that. And the value for money is pretty good at 22 for a total score of 60. So in assessing ourselves against our competitors, we then try to reverse engineer it and say, how do we increase our scores in each area in order to, bring up those scores and compared to that quality performer? For demonstration of capability, we could do some videos, testimonials, knowledge leadership on website and social media. For agility, speed to market with support structure, we could do a continuous review of customer needs and expectations and be agile with our support. For innovation and pivoting model, we can fast track some product and service delivery and measure its impact on customers. And value for money, we can measure the ROI, our continuous cost reductions, and look to lock in pricing. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do here is take our scores, and if we can get our total up to a 65 or even a 70, we should be able to stack up pretty well against any competitor in our marketplace. Another tool we use in helping us define our competitive edge is called the sustainable competitive advantage. This is basically a we will win statement. Here, we think of a whole range of factors that will give us a competitive edge. So these key success factors in this example are service, innovation, price, product range, quality, management, response time, having the best people, brand name, and our rate of change. We then take these key success factors and assess what is the value to the customers on a scale of 1 to 10. So going through that exercise, we see here that we have a scale of between 3 and 9. After that, we then drop anything below of an 8, because if it's below an 8 to our customers, that really isn't going to be our sustainable competitive advantage or what we want to focus on. So based on that, we have 3 left: response time, having the best people, and rate of change. Our next step is, to assess the current ability to beat our competitors. So we're pretty good at response time, so we give ourselves a 7. We have pretty good people, but so do our competitors, so having the best people is a 6, and along with our rate of change. And finally, we assess what is the internal impact on all this. So what is going to have a profound change internally as we move forward? Response time would get a 9, as it would be a pretty significant impact. Best people would be a 7, and rate of change of 5. Finally, and so to figure out what our sustainable competitive advantage is going to be, we take to total it, we actually take column B and add column D, ignoring column C. And as the calculation computes out here is that our sustainable competitive advantage, or our we will win statement, is going to be our response time. That column C is a bit of a mirage where it still is important, but really this is just identifying how hard that task is going to be. So it's not actually going to be part of our advantage, but just identifying how hard the task at hand will be. Moving forward, there's going to be a lot of things to fix within businesses, and as you move forward identifying these issues, you need to zero in on the ones that are going to help give you an improved response time, as this will give you a sustainable competitive advantage moving forward. So those are just a couple of the best tools we see to help you define your competitive edge. From here, we have to ask ourselves, what do we need to fix? How do we do it? And who will do it? This will be the challenge. What will your 2020 competitive edge be? In order to establish this, you'll have to figure out how you're going to beat your competitors in 2020 and what are the key elements. The key ones that I would see as best practice, or as I would suggest you take a look at, are your pivot adapt agility and your ability to change course in an ever-changing environment, something we can probably be assured of here for the next 12 to 24 months. A demonstrated customer ROI to help prove that we are the best at what we do. Coming up with a theme for 2020 that you can use as focus to the end of the year towards that mission. Ensuring your competitive advantage is sustainable and that you're able to adapt and keep on course with any roadblocks that are thrown up. And ensuring your edge motivates your people, because without having the buy-in of your people, it's almost doomed to fail. So I would challenge you to look at the top 3 strategies that would be specific to you. So what's next? Hopefully the exercises we went through here are enough to help you develop a competitive edge that is sustainable, we can use to set our priorities, and is agile enough to allow you to adapt to any emerging threats and opportunities. I hope you found these insights helpful as you work towards strengthening your competitive edge. I really feel there are opportunities right now for those of us that are quick and good enough to take advantage of them, and we at Virtus Group would love the opportunity to help you do just that. If you'd like to learn more about this tool or discover other tools to help your business thrive, please contact us. Thanks.